Testifying on the bill, is that correct?
That's correct.
Please proceed.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Again, my name is Jack Walker. I'm the Vice President of Legislative Affairs for Texas Trial Lawyers. I'm here to testify on HB 2636. As this committee is well aware, TTLA is not a big fan of immunity bills. And so when they come across and get filed, we take a big, long look at them. Luckily, in this case, we were able to work with Chairman Murr and work through this, and I believe we'll get to a place where we can be neutral on this bill. The purpose of the bill is to assure protections are still in place. We want to assure that protections are still in place for the patrons and visitors for any injuries that are proximately caused by negligence, dangerous conditions on the property, failure to train, and intentional acts. And I think that's preserved. It's preserved, and we have tweaked some language. I think we can work through it. And so we hope to keep working on this to get it kind of down to, as what Chairman Murr says, the best policy we can make for the state of Texas. And so with that, I will end my testimony and take any questions.
Thank you. Members, any questions? Chairman Murr.
Just one question. So, Mr. Walker, appreciate you taking time to visit with me previously about this bill. I believe that we've arrived at a couple of small changes to the bill, and it's the goal that I will try to provide a committee substitute to committee members soon with essentially agreed upon language. The end goal, as we state, is good policy for the state of Texas, and I'll put in my plug now. So after redistricting, I represent over 23,000 square miles of the state of Texas. It's almost the size of the state of West Virginia, and we have a lot of great RV parks and campgrounds. And so this is something that I'm not doing just for Texas, but it's constituent driven for me. So I appreciate the opportunity for you to be here and for us to talk about it. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman.
Representative Davis.
And this is just for clarification purposes, because a couple of folks have mentioned this. Don't we have a law to eliminate frivolous lawsuits already? Isn't there a law already to minimize the number of frivolous lawsuits that are filed?
You mean as pertaining to campgrounds specifically, or just in general?
Just in
Excuse
general.
me, I think the questions is.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes, we do.
And the reason I ask this, because a couple of times they mentioned this, and I'm just wondering, does that law not work?
We think the law works very well, but when we see these type of situations, and we want to work, to try to make, we'd love to. There'd be nobody come to us for immunity, but in these situations, we work through, and I think this ends up with really good language to protect the patrons that will be out at the campground.
And I would tell you, I think that it's important that we have our campgrounds safe, and that families can enjoy that quality of life that they associate with that effort. And I know you can't control the bugs and the ants and all, I get all that. But I was just curious whether or not that was still in place, because a few years back, I heard all this stuff about frivolous lawsuits and I know in my community, people always talk about attorneys don't take a lot of the cases now because of that rule. And then I hear people come and testify, with all due respect to you, sir, to say your insurance is going up. I would contend to you that we really need to look at what insurance companies are doing. And I just want to raise that, Mr. Mercer, you want to fix that. Insurance is broke. And these guys are victims of insurance companies raising their rates. And I think we ought to just, at some point, take a look at that from a broader perspective, because he's suffering. He's doing as much as he can to be with you. Citizens are still getting harmed, and so maybe we need to figure out what insurance companies are doing to you. Maybe you ought to change your policy or get a new provider. I don't know. But I hear this all the time about insurance rates, and we're putting small businesses and we're putting businesses out of business because of the cost of their insurance. And I just want to just offer that, and I know this didn't have to do anything with insurance other than the fact that people continue to tell us that lawsuits are creating insurance rates increasing, and we're putting people out of business. Certainly none of us want to do that. So we want to make sure we attack the problem where the problem is. So I just offer that as a follow-up to the question I had. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative.
I look
Members.
forward to you working with me
Any
on
other
that.
Any other questions? Is there anyone else here who wishes?